Welcome to the 5G podcast.
We're glad you're here.
We hope you enjoy our conversation about God, guns, games, goals, and gastronomy.
Now sit back, relax, and enjoy this week's episode. Oh, we didn't sound check as well.
I'm probably a little bit loud. I feel like mine's too high. Steven talks loudly because my voice travels, apparently. That is something I learned from this podcast, is that my voice
Your voice is loud.
carries well, I suppose. At least in the microphone.
It's very acoustic.
Apparently.
Should have been a singer or something. I don't know.
Except I don't feel like I could sing.
An orator.
I that would be fun.
Yeah. If that was still a thing, people just like giving speeches on the street corners.
I feel like there's like something that's similar to that. Like, I don't know.
A lobbyist?
Jordan Peterson go speak?
Yeah.
Or
I
a
think
streamer?
a streamer, maybe? Talks to himself a lot.
Like a variety stream? I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Or an elected representative where you gotta give presentations before.
Well, yeah, but they're all worthless.
Well, hey, you could be a local representative. It's a little bit better than federal. Slightly.
I suppose a little bit.
Yeah.
I suppose. I was going to ask you the start of a 5G podcast before we just jump into only Magic the Gathering. We should rename this podcast the Magic the Gathering podcast.
Well, that might be copyright, but I'm thinking only Magics, only cards, something.
Or we
only fans of Magic the Gathering. There you go. Yeah.
OFOTG. Only fans of trading games.
Trading card games. TCG.
Oh, TCG.
Yeah.
I was thinking MTG. Anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, I was going to ask you, last week we talked about The Gentleman.
Yes.
And how freaking fantastic of a show that was.
The Gentleman.
And I was hyping it up, and you had watched the first 2 or 3 episodes by the time we recorded last week.
Yeah.
And now you've finished the show, and drumroll please, Trevor's thought.
Big 2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs up.
From Trevor.
10 out of 10.
I know you come to the 5G podcast for all your expert critical analysis of TV shows. And so, yes,
we do a decent amount of it, so it wouldn't be unreasonable.
I mean, we're not experts, but we are like...
consumers.
Yeah, we are critical consumers.
And expert consumers.
We consume a lot.
This mic is...
Cue fat joke, but Steven's busy with his mic.
Sorry. I do consume many a thing.
There we go.
Food.
Expert consumers.
We went to In-N-Out last night for dinner, and I was like, I had like a regular, or what is it? The double.
Oh yeah,
2 patties.
The double meat, double cheese. Yeah.
And I was like, I could have pounded 2 of these easy.
Yeah, right. Just
luckily I had like fries,
the fries and a shake or a drink. Yeah.
So like it was plenty of food.
But just a burger, like.
But like if I had like 2 of those burgers, I would. Yeah. Dude,
yeah, no, I don't think it's a secret. It's certainly not anything I invented. But you always you get 2 double burgers and then you just like make it into 1 quadruple burger. Like it just feels pretty good. Is that the In-N-Out that's down by the shooting range?
No.
Oh, okay.
Up on
Stapley
McDowell and Wrecker.
Oh, I forgot about that one. Okay.
It's pretty new.
Because we haven't been in a while, but one of our go-to date nights was ladies shoot free at the shooting range down at Stapley in the 60. And then we pop over to In-N-Out for dinner afterwards.
It's a pretty good shoot. That's a pretty good date.
It was a good date. No, it was fun.
That's a pretty good date. I might suggest that to Ryan.
Yeah.
We need to go shooting.
Yeah.
Caleb suggested we go as well. Anyway, The Gentleman. 2 thumbs up. You were a fan of the ending.
Yes, I was a fan of the ending. It really did all come together exactly how you mentioned. I think it was pretty spot on. You're like, yeah, each episode has its own contained story, but then like it all comes together at the end, and I really enjoyed seeing that. Of like semi-spoilers, I guess. The main character is like trying to get out of the crime business because he's like, no, we're a legitimate royal family. We're not going to do anything illegal. But then by the end, like he's tried to get out by like digging himself deeper and making all these connections where he's like, actually, at a certain point he realizes, or one of the characters tells him he's pretty good at it, and then he finds out that like his family kind of has a history of being criminals anyway, so he just is like, well, this is life now. Like,
yeah,
he's good enough at it, and then by the last episode, he flips it all around where it's like, yeah, he is just kind of running the show.
Yeah,
because of all the connections he made in the previous episodes.
Yeah,
it all connected.
Yeah, it was really quite good.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really quite good.
As you said, like they could end it there, but they could do more. I'd watch more.
I would 100% watch more, even if it's not as good.
Yeah,
like if it's one notch down, that's still like an 8.5, 9 show.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
I was impressed how much I liked the protagonist.
Yeah,
based off your initial description, it was like, oh yeah, the show seems cool, but yeah, I didn't think I'd enjoy watching the protagonist, Prince Henry or William or whatever they called him. There was Edward. I think they always made fun of him, called him different names. So I could never remember it, but it was impressive. He was just like a military guy. The Duke. You thought he was like just straight shooter, like military high up, and then by the end, he's like, actually, I'm pretty good at this whole crime thing.
Well, it's interesting. I was actually thinking about this. It's interesting because he is a straight up military guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the beginning is he's like a colonel or a captain. Captain is what he is in the military, and they're at some sort of like UN checkpoint type thing or whatever, and he's like breaking the rules
slightly
to like help other people like get through this checkpoint or whatever, and like it's like, oh, his papers are expired by 2 days or whatever,
and he's like, don't
let him through, and then he'll get them on the return, whatever. It's like, okay, and then you connect it, you're like, oh, so he's like not following the rules even in the military. Like he's bending the rules to help other people and to like achieve goals and stuff like that.
It's like, because he is a good guy. Yeah.
And then by the end you're like, oh, he just like doesn't care about the rules at all, except for like he bends the rules of the underworld to get what he wants. Yeah, it's very interesting.
He's got kind of a pompous, cocky attitude, but not to
like
the point of being annoying.
Yeah, it's like more. It's not like a cocky attitude. It's more like a confident attitude.
Confident, yes. He exudes confidence.
His brother is cocky.
Yes, that's fair. Actually,
he's just confident.
That's a good dichotomy there between seeing they're both royal. They could both easily just be snobs.
Yeah,
but no, he's just, I don't know. He walks around with confidence. I'm the Duke.
Yeah. Anyway,
enjoyable show. Good drama. Had a few action scenes. Great acting all around. I thought everybody did really well.
Yeah, I would love to see more.
The girl, the leading lady, I'd watch her in more things. I don't think she's really been in anything
heard of her before.
She did really well. So
very well. She was very good at being a high class mob boss.
Yes, right. Kind of the same thing as him. Is just like on the outside is just like fancy British aristocracy, but then she's also like a crime lord. Yeah. I enjoyed that.
Anyway, there it is.
The Gentleman. 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Yeah.
I'd give it
at least a 9.
I'd give it like, I mean, 10 out of 10 is like perfect, and maybe there was like 2 things.
Sure.
I don't know what they are, but like there has to be one thing that I would change.
Yeah.
Maybe. So maybe like a 9.8 or 9.9 out of 10.
Yeah.
Like next to perfect.
Pretty close.
I don't know. Anyway. And if you don't want to listen to about Magic the Gathering cards and all that stuff, you can stop the podcast there. Solid 5 minutes. Are we even recording? We are. Okay.
Yeah. I see the red dots.
I couldn't read the timing from there because the 9 looked like a 0. And I was like, F me.
Dang it.
Yeah. So nice 10 minutes of podcast for you. And now to Magic.
Yes, that was the end of the 5G podcast. Now we're on
Magic the Gathering podcast point 2.
Gathering the podcast.
Gathering the Nerd podcast.
Yes, that's the secret G.
The Gathering?
The Gathering.
The 5.1 G podcast.
Just an extra little one in there. Yes, it's from here on. We're probably just going to be talking Magic the whole time because there's lots to talk about.
Yeah.
With Outlaws at Thunder Junction.
Gay Cowboys.
With Commander Junction.
To be honest, everyone was saying gay cowboys. There wasn't like, other than those planeswalkers,
Yeah,
it wasn't like that much that I was like, this is like,
just the main characters.
yeah,
Like,
I didn't.
Which we don't follow Magic for the story anyway.
I've tried reading some of the stories, and I'm just like, this is not for me.
Yeah,
Not for me.
I tried skimming the one with their new character they're trying to introduce, and she's the female cowboy in the set. She's not interesting. She's Annie Flash. Her card is terrible. I mean, it's got Flash, which, like, that makes sense, but the rest of the card was just bad. It's like, ooh. When the vast majority of creatures in this set, I don't know about the vast majority, but there's a lot of legendaries in this set.
There's a ton of legendaries in this.
Leading to the joke, oh, this is just Commander Junction.
It really is, though.
Yeah, like, more so than we've noticed. They already, in the last set, they toned down the number of uncommons, I think. Like, just the number of commons and uncommons in each set for their play boosters. Like, they have new distributions. And there's just, like, tons of rares now. And so there's just so many legendaries. Like, I think there's more legendaries than uncommons or something. Somebody did the math already of, like, there's a lot of legendary creatures in this set. And all clearly for Commander. Like, anytime there's a 3-color legendary, like, nobody's playing that in Standard.
In Modern or in...
No. It's clearly like, make a new Commander deck with this guy at the top because he's got 3-color pips, and so those are the 3 colors of your deck. Boop-a-doo.
Yeah, one thing that I noticed is that everything that I saw, every single card, I was like, well, not every single one, but like the vast majority, I was like, that'd go good in a Commander deck.
Yeah.
Like, that, like, good value, good whatever, you know, like...
It's like, that's a lot of text that can fit in a lot of different decks.
Yeah.
That would be one general, not complaint, I don't know. Commander's the format that 90% of people play anyway.
Yeah.
It is the most popular format in Magic the Gathering, but it just feels odd when they're designing cards specifically for Commander when it's not a Commander set.
Yeah, I feel like that's something that they're doing incorrectly, and this speaks more to, like, Wizards of the Coast. I don't think it's a secret that we're not the most fanboyish about Wizards of the Coast as a company right now. But, like, I'm thinking of, like, this Modern Horizons 3 set that comes
out this summer, I think.
And it's modern. It's a modern set.
Yeah.
It's designed for modern.
Designed to be powerful, to spice up the modern format. Yeah.
Which, like, if you want to spice up one of your formats, reasonable, right?
Yeah.
Make new powerful cards that draw people into that format. That's very reasonable. As long as they're not, like, just breaking the game, right? But, like, a power creep is okay if you're trying to spice something up, right?
Yeah.
But then they're coming out with 4 Commander decks during that set, and it's like, okay, so was this a modern set or was this a Commander set? Like,
oh no, the precons, they're going to be totally separate from the cards in the main set. We're just selling precons.
Modern Horizons 3 Commander
precons.
Like, how about we make a modern precon?
Which they probably couldn't. They say they don't look at the secondary market, but they probably couldn't sell one of those at market value. Just because modern decks are notoriously kind of expensive. But
guess what?
Papers.
They don't have to pay for the secondary market.
They don't.
They don't care. I don't know why Wizards of the Coast cares about the secondary market.
Yeah.
Like, the secondary market should be a secondary market. The secondary market should not influence Wizards of the Coast.
Yeah. They claim that they don't. Oh, we don't even look at the secondary market.
That's a bunch of bull.
Yeah, it is. It's straight.
Because how many of the dual lands or bounce lands or whatever other special lands are never reprinted or rarely reprinted
they're too expensive.
They're $70 a land?
Yep. Yeah, and they.
It's like,
anytime they print one of these, they haven't done for Modern, but either for Standard or Pioneer, they've done little, like, event decks.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, for $40 or $50, you get a ready to play deck, competitive. They never have like 4 copies of a thing when that's what you need to play competitively, because they're like, oh well, 4 copies, that's too much money. Only 2 copies of like the
Fairy Protection or whatever.
Yeah, there was a deck in Pioneer called Phoenix Burn. Like, is it Phoenix? And you needed this 4 copies of a Phoenix.
Is red and blue?
Red and blue, yeah, because the whole deck built around that guy and casting a bunch of like 1-mana spells, and then you get the Phoenix back from your graveyard and you swing, and he's just a hasty flyer. Like, the deck was built around having 4 of that creature. That's why it's called Phoenix. And they sold a deck that only had 2 Phoenixes in it. You're like, it's not a Phoenix deck then. They're like, oh no, yeah, we don't look at the secondary market, but those Phoenixes are like $8 a pop, so we can't put 4 in there. That's $32. That's basically the value of the deck already. No, that's impossible.
Yeah, that is so dumb. Like, you've already created a system of determining value on your cards. That's common, uncommon, rare, legendary, mythic, whatever else.
Yeah.
Right? That should be the value system internally to Wizards of the Coast.
Because that's how much you print of each thing.
Exactly, right? How many copies have we printed of this card? It falls into the rare category. So we can only go up to this number of prints of that card compared to the other of that set, right? And so if we release 4 more Phoenixes in a set, we also have to release a ton of other cards.
Yeah, a bunch of commons.
Or we just have to not print a ton at the beginning and then print more as time goes on.
Print to demand, something. Yeah.
Whatever. Instead, they're 100% looking at the secondary. There's not a shadow of doubt in my mind that they are looking at the secondary market when they're building these decks.
Yeah.
And determining like, oh, well, we can't have that. We can't put 4 bounce or 4 shocklands in the deck.
Yep.
That would be just crazy. It's like, well, you could.
Well, you could.
And guess what? Because of that, you would make way more money. Why don't they? They would make so much more money.
I would buy, like, if I could buy a modern deck for $60 that had, let's say, $200 worth of value in it, to me, that's a steal. Like,
yeah, and instead of going and buying all the cards on the secondary market,
I'd spend $60 to Wizards or to my local game store.
They're paying Wizards.
They're paying Wizards
for the
paying distributors. Yeah.
Well, and also, so Wizards is going to sell these for. Let's see if it costs $60 to buy at a game store, or if Wizards is going to charge, or what am I trying to say? Wizards is going to sell these to game stores for $30-$40, right?
Yeah.
If it's a crappy product, the game stores are going to give them for free off the shelf. But guess what? Wizards already has their money.
Exactly. It doesn't matter.
If it's an amazing product, Wizards already has their money. And guess what? The game stores are going to benefit because there's going to be such high demand that they can incrementally raise prices a titch.
Yeah. But Wizards gets all the positive
If
PR.
the deck is worth card value on secondary market $200 and a game store is selling it for $100, people are going to be lining up out the door for that.
Still, yeah. They're going to run out.
And so these games, it just like...
They run out until, like, for instance, with the Shocklands example, like, there's more Shocklands in the market. Like, people are buying the decks just to resell the Shocklands and make a quick buck. The price of Shocklands is going to come down.
It'll find an equilibrium.
Yeah.
Which is brilliant.
And Wizards gets positive PR. Like,
Wizards gets positive PR and makes oodles of money because people want to buy the decks.
They have to keep, like...
Instead of these game stores buying, like... If it's not, like, a Universes Beyond set, which most people are, like, generally excited for, it's, a Modern Horizons 3 set, which, like, I don't know what your real sales are going to be on that. Like, probably not significant compared to Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Or Warhammer or whatever, right? If you have a game store that, like, is going to buy 10 Modern Horizon decks or whatever.
Yeah.
Instead, and there's, it's a $50 general price and they're worth, $65, $70 or whatever card value. Instead, it's like, well, why don't we just put $200 worth of secondary market value in there? And then instead of having 10 decks per game store, we're going to sell 30 decks per game store.
Yeah.
We've just tripled our income. Like,
we had to print more. I don't know. Maybe they have problems on that end, but I doubt it. But it's...
If you sell 30 or if you sell 3 times as many product, you can go buy another machine to print.
Yes, exactly. You can pay another printer like.
And also, your overhead is per card per
The paper
set you print. The overhead of that set is reduced.
Sure. Okay.
Administrative costs as well as production costs, because you don't have to change the printer. System as much. You don't have to like recycle going through and cleaning the printer to make sure that there's no cross printing or cross contamination of colors when you're printing these massive sets of cards, right?
Okay.
And so it's like your overhead per deck per unit sold goes down.
Yeah, the more that you sell,
so your profit margin increases per deck you sell.
Yeah.
So you want to sell as many as possible. Anyway.
Well, yeah, I don't.
We weren't supposed to bash on Wizards, I suppose, but
not a whole lot. Only a little bit. It's weird. So, Thunder Junction, Modern Horizons 3 comes this summer. Other bit of news from Thunder Junction that I could bash Wizards slightly for, because they're just shooting themselves in the foot, destroying their own IP, Steven. I think we spoke previously on here. The creature type errata change from Nagas are now snakes.
Gorgons, I thought.
No, Gorgons are fine.
Oh, I thought
Nagas, which in most mythology is like
a snake person.
A snake person, but like with no legs, they just slither. And that holds true in Magic. Magic also had snake people that were unique to them, and they had legs. That was the distinction. As well as just like normal snakes on cards, I think. But now they're saying, Nagas are they're just snakes now. All right, they're snake adjacent. Maybe that's fine. And Naga's from mythology, so Wizards didn't take that. But like all of their planes have these condensed stories.
I mean, Eldraine is just fairy tales.
Yeah,
just rip off IP.
It's hard, I guess, when each story, each set has its own like world building, and so they're like, this plane has snake people, and then this plane over here has Nagas. Now you're saying they're the same? All right, whatever. That's okay, I guess.
Sure.
But I don't love it. The new one they have changed. Do you know, as a longtime Magic fan, I know this, but do you know a Viashino?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it's a Wizards of the Coast original creature. Some might argue no, but the name is unique. Viashino is these lizard people from Magic, from like 20 plus years ago, like really long standing Magic history of just like kind of reptilian crocodile lizard people. You could argue, all right, they're lizard adjacent, sure, but
are they changing them to?
They're changing. Viashino is no longer exists. They're just lizards now. Like, that's a piece of Magic IP. That is your creature.
Yeah, if anything, they should go the other way.
Yeah, make every lizard person-looking thing, just make it a Viashino. But again, they're only from like certain planes, technically, where they built that world around Viashinos.
Yeah. It's kind of... I don't understand this condensing of creature types, because they're also adding a ton more creature
types. I could see the argument in like, well, functionally it's just easier if they were to print like all lizards you control get +1/+1. Like, from a game standpoint, I see that. Lizards didn't have that type of support functionally, nor did Viashino. It was purely flavor. But then on the other hand, they're just making new random ass creature types.
Capybara.
Or Varmint. That's a new one from this set.
Or Coyote.
Coyote. Yeah, why do we need Coyote separate from dog? Come on, guys.
Wolf.
Or, Wolf was also separate. They've roped in dogs and hounds. I'm okay with that one. I don't care about that. Yeah. That's the same thing.
And like, if you roped in wolf, dog, and coyote to wolf or to dog.
To dog.
Like, okay.
But Viashino was a unique IP from 20 plus years ago. Probably from, I don't know if it was from the original creators of Magic, who aren't there anymore. But you're just kind of spitting on their legacy of like, they're just lizards now.
Yeah.
Because they actually have just like dumb little lizard creatures in game, who are, not smart, not intelligent, and then you're like, and then we have this race of lizard people. They're just They're both just lizards.
So what you're saying is that Wizards of the Coast is racist?
I mean, maybe.
They're just calling all lizard people dumb.
I think so. You're just a lizard.
Yeah, it's racist.
Mm-hmm.
Xenophobic.
Definitely. They're just shooting themselves in the foot, destroying their own IP.
Yeah.
Anyway,
they tried killing all planeswalkers off, so
yeah,
didn't work.
That didn't work. That lasted all of
one set,
and then they said, "Oh, we're gonna." There might be one planeswalker per set going forward, maybe. No guarantee. I think the set has like 3 already.
Yeah,
we're back to normal already, guys. That was okay.
Yeah. Speaking of planeswalkers that are crazy good,
let's go into crazy good, strong planeswalkers.
Got Jace, the gay cowboy Bellerin.
Jace is shirtless yet again. He's back.
Do I even have a... Yeah, right there.
You texted it to me, yeah.
Jace reawakened.
Everybody's favorite character from Magic the Gathering, even though we thought that he was dead. Somehow he returned.
I remember the first time I played Magic. No, not the first time I played Magic. One of the first times I played Magic. I was playing a borrowed deck and it had Jace in it, and I thought Jace was like the coolest character ever.
He's the classic like blue wizard. He's got his robes on and slinging spells
and doing cool stuff and like very cool.
He again important part of Wizards IP.
Yep.
He's had some pretty broken copies and some pretty bad versions over the years.
This one I think is leaning more towards the broken side.
I think this is a contender, and again, this is a standard set, so it's kind of weird to see, but it's that could be a real contender in a couple formats, I think.
All right, I'll go ahead and read them off here. So it's Jace reawakened. He has 2 blue pips, and he comes out with
2 mana planeswalkers. Historically,
are bad.
Are very bad.
Tybalt
is
whatever his name is.
Yeah, the first Tybalt. They've had 1 or 2 others since then. Iconically, Tybalt is like the worst planeswalker ever.
Yeah,
because you can't balance around a 2 mana planeswalker. Like it's just
either crap or really good.
Yeah, apparently.
So 2 mana for 3. It comes out with 3 loyalty counters. It has a static ability that says you can't cast this spell during your first, second, or third turns of the game.
Oh no!
I have some thoughts about this. Has a +1, draw a card, then discard a card, which is good.
Yep, card draw.
Then another +1, you may exile a non-land card with mana value 3 or less from your hand. If you do, it becomes plotted. Which is the new system of casting stuff for free.
Yes, you pay the mana now to cast it later.
It's just investment.
Yeah, but Jace just lets you do a card for free from your hand.
With mana value 3 or less.
Mana value 3 or less, but you're not spending the 3 mana.
No. Yeah. It's 3 free mana.
3 free mana just for a +1.
Yeah.
It's a plus to get free mana.
Yeah. And then, And then you can subtract 6 loyalty, and until end of turn, whenever you cast a spell, you copy it, and then you may choose new targets for the copy.
That can just win you the game right there.
Yeah, of course it can, because you put him in a blue... an Izzet deck or just a mono blue deck.
Mono blue.
And you have, I'm just going to, I have enough card draw because blue card draw.
Yeah.
Right? Freaking just put a Kami of whatever on the board.
Anything. Everything draws cards in blue.
And you just put, I'm just going to put, I'm going to exile a card, and then I'm going to exile another card, and then I'm going to exile another card. And then one more time just for fun.
Might as well.
It's got 4 cards plotted that way for free. And how many really, really good blue cards are there for less than 3 or less mana that just win the game?
And everything. Like, at the very least, card draw. More card draw. Yeah. And then his ultimate is like, okay, I'm going to pop off. Like to -6, copy all my spells this turn for free. So let me start by casting my 4 free spells and then get 4 copies for free. And then anything else I want to do.
Can you imagine a Storm?
Oh, man.
Like, can you imagine Storm with plotted cards?
Yeah, with already getting copies and Storm. And important distinction in his ultimate. With the disclaimer, all right, hard to judge a planeswalker by their ultimates because most ultimates should just win you the game because you're supposed to kill a planeswalker before they get there. Blah, whatever. That's out of the way. It's whenever you cast a spell.
Yeah.
Copies of permanent spells become tokens, Steven. So it's not just your instants and sorceries, which is a classic blue thing that we're thinking of copying card draw and removal or whatever.
Yeah.
You can copy your own permanents, your artifacts, your creatures, your enchantments, and then you get token copies of those. So again, in blue, you're like, all right, I would like 2 giant krakens
with Island Walk,
and
Shroud, and Unblockable.
Oh, let's see, are there any artifacts that I would like copies of?
Just a few. Just a few that I can think of.
I can think of a few.
Jeez. Yeah. So one thing about his static ability is that you cannot cast him during your first, second, or third turns of the game.
You cannot cast him
during your turn.
During your first, second, or third turns of the game, yes.
But if you can cheat him out somehow, or not cast him,
or flash, yeah. Somebody already did the math on that. They're like, okay, the best possible scenario is that the blue ley line, which are the enchantments where if they're in your starting hand, you can just put them into play. The blue ley line lets you cast things with flash. So they're like, all right, your starting hand has like a ley line and mana or whatever, and like a mana rock on turn 1. You can like, turn 1, you get the ley line out for free as an island and some dinky little artifact that taps for 1. Like a lotus petal, I think is a 0 cost. And then on your opponent's first turn, you can cast Jace. Like, what? That's the quickest you can do it.
It's so dumb.
Like, how did they not, like, even that was a dumb, overpowered scenario, but realistically, yeah, during your opponent's second or third turn, or you don't cast him, you just get him out, you put him,
or I guess you can't do it, yeah.
It's harder. There's more hoops to jump through. I'm glad they did that.
Yes, it's not a bad thing that they did it. It's
so a 2-mana planeswalker to balance it.
And it is a good planeswalker, so like it did need some balancing.
Mm-hmm.
But like, you should have just said like, this card cannot enter play until...
If this card enters play before turn 4...
Sack it.
So, yeah, it's dead. It's gone. Exiled.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Like, super good card.
Jace Reawakened.
I'm sure it's going to be in every single blue deck from now on.
I would say it's the Chase Mythic from the set. Like, people are going to rip packs to get this, but there might be a few more.
Yeah, for sure.
But this is definitely one of them. There's rumors...
also, the art is kind of sick.
This is the full art borderless, so maybe they're going to do a normal variant as well. But that one does look pretty cool. He's just like coming out of the frame.
Yeah.
There's rumors that he was going to be in the like supplemental additional set, like March of the Machines Aftermath. And maybe that's why it seems like there's too many Chase Mythics, because then they scrapped the idea of the Aftermath set and just put them all in the main set. So that could be why it seems like there's a lot of good value cards. They were trying to sell the dumb like 5-card Aftermath boosters, but then they were like, no, never mind. We're not doing that. They backpedaled quick.
I have another Planeswalker in...
Go for it.
That is just... I think it's just so good.
The new Oko?
Yes, the Ringleader one.
Uh-huh.
Blue,
the other
green.
Shirtless.
Yeah, so it's 4 mana, 2 pips... Sorry, 2, a blue and a green.
Mm-hmm.
A green and a blue, whatever. For 3 loyalty counter Planeswalker. With a static ability, because all Planeswalkers have to have static abilities now.
They have to, yep.
So it's at the beginning of combat on your turn, Oko, the Ringleader, becomes a copy of up to 1 target creature you control until end of turn, except he has hexproof as well.
Yeah.
Because why not?
Yeah, they don't want to make your Planeswalker easy to kill.
And I mean, like, there's no, like, creatures that would be worth that in blue and green, right? Like, surely there's nothing that, like, has, you know, is like a 12/12 with trample or...
And the hexproof is so annoying, too.
Yeah, because like it's like you're going to create, theoretically, in blue or green, you're going to create a rather large or, you know, stompy creature.
Or just a good value creature, either way.
And, you know, it's going to be a target for your opponent's removal.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but he has hexproof, so no removing him. Sorry.
Yeah, that's just annoying. Because, remind me, that's his static ability.
Yeah.
And what's the trigger? At the beginning of your turn?
Beginning of combat on your turn.
Beginning of combat. Yeah, that's really... Because if I want to kill your Planeswalker, I have to do it... He gains hexproof until your next turn? Or just until the end of turn?
Oko the Ringleader becomes a copy of up to one target creature you control until end of turn. Except he has hexproof.
Okay, so he basically has hexproof on your turn.
Correct.
So if I want to remove your Planeswalker, I got to spend mana on my turn to do it.
Yeah. And it's anyway. His +1 is draw 2 cards. If you've committed a crime, discard 1 card. Otherwise, you discard 2.
Okay, but still is looting. I mean, it's draw 2, discard 2 minimum.
His -1 is create a 3/3 green elk creature token.
Yeah. It's a throwback to the old Oko where you could turn anything into an elk token.
That's pretty good.
Which was annoying as hell, and that's why he got banned from every format.
That's reasonable.
They thought it was a good thing, like, oh, you'll turn your food tokens into elks, because that was from the first Eldraine, but it was a +1. Wizards didn't think you would use the +1 as removal to turn your opponent's stuff just into worthless elks.
Why did they not think that?
I have no idea. They should have been a -1. It should have been a -1.
Yeah.
But no, he had 4 health, and he cost 4 mana, and he immediately comes out, he has 5 health. He was impossible to kill in Standard. And then, like, he was annoying in other formats. Not quite as good, but good enough that they still banned him.
Yeah. His ultimate is pretty good on this guy.
Mm-hmm.
It's, like, really good in a blue-green deck, in my opinion. For each other non-land permanent you control, create a token that's a copy of that permanent.
Yeah. Just, okay. Clone Army? No, not quite. No, never mind. Yeah, that is pretty. Just make a token copy of everything.
Except lands. But it makes tokens of your tokens.
Yeah.
Because it just says...
It doesn't say non-token.
No, it says non-land permanent.
Yeah. It's...
So that's... Okay, let me just paint this picture for you.
If you weren't already winning, you're definitely winning.
Let me just paint this picture for you.
Mm-hmm.
I throw this into the Tyranids deck.
Sure.
I've got, 2 or 3 big creatures that have all been copied.
Mm-hmm.
I've got 6 reasonably sized creatures. Like, let's say 10 and above.
Yeah.
I've got 6 of them. That's pretty significant.
That's very significant.
But not unreasonable to get in that deck.
No.
Like, actually really reasonable
after
to get in
a turn or 2.
Like, by turn 6, I'm going to have a couple big creatures in that deck. Mm-hmm. Anyway. This guy comes out, do the whatever,
the pluses,
draw a couple cards. By the way, at the beginning of my combat phase, he becomes one of those big guys.
Becomes a copy of it, yeah.
And then get to make a copy of everything that I have.
Everything.
Mana rocks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, mana rocks are good.
Although legendary rule.
Legendary rule is unfortunate, but still, green-blue, just good, big value creatures.
Yeah.
Big, good value. Either way works.
Good, big value creatures. Big, good value. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. Seems a little bit okay.
It's pretty good. Planeswalkers are generally, quote-unquote, not as good in Commander, but...
This guy seems pretty broken.
Yeah.
No, maybe not broken, but, like, the Jace one seems broken.
Yeah.
This guy just seems like good.
This guy seems pretty good.
He's got his static ability is good. His +1 is decent.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's pretty good. -1 sucks. His -6 is it?
-6 the ultimate.
-5.
-5.
Yeah. So you only need him out for 2 turns.
Chase Mythic. That's pretty good. I think those are the best Planeswalkers. Since we're talking about the powerful cards, I have a couple of the other characters from the set are on Mythics. One I did send you here is the new Vraska, who's the Gorgon. Used to be a Planeswalker, but she's not anymore. She's not allowed. But Vraska the Silencer, I mentioned to you, this is probably the cheapest time we've seen this type of effect, which I think is pretty unique. Again, another Mythic, another strong card. 3 mana, 3/3 Gorgon Assassin, which matters because she's an outlaw for any of their synergies in this set. 3/3 Death Touch. Whenever a non-token creature an opponent controls dies, you may pay 1. And if you do, you return that card, their creature, to the battlefield tapped under your control. It's a treasure artifact with tap, get a mana. It's a tap treasure, and it loses all other card types. So I texted you. I never have good luck with these effects of like stealing your opponent's stuff when they die. But that is pretty strong. Anytime any creature dies, if you want it, you just pay 1 mana, and you're like, "That's mine now." And she turns them into a statue. She's a
Gorgon.
A Medusa. They're a tapped treasure immediately, but they still have all their other abilities. They just lose all of the card types, so they're not creatures or anything. But if it's just like has a good static ability on the creature or an ETB, it's just like, now I have an artifact. And you can get rid of it for mana whenever you want, because you can refund the 1 mana you spent to steal it.
It's really, really good. It's really like, I'm thinking of like black recursion decks.
Yeah.
It's just an anti-recursion deck.
Right. Yeah, stealing your opponent's stuff.
That they're trying to bring back an ETB, and you're actually getting the ETB.
You're stealing it from their graveyards, before they can.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. As 1 black and a green. Very cheap for that effect. I've seen it at 4 before this.
That's one thing that we both were talking about, is like these cards that like have effects that are good but not like unheard of. Like there's similar stuff before. They've just reduced the mana curve. Like the mana curve is like 1, maybe even 1.5 less than it normally has been.
Right.
Which is crazy.
Yeah. This next one, again, another mythic, I think fits that bill pretty perfectly. Like maybe on paper it's just like, whatever, but when you do the math, I'll break it down for you. It seems pretty crazy. It's Gisa the Hellraiser. And she's another, like...
I don't know if I had that one on.
She's another mythic mono black. She's... I
did see her,
She does a lot of stuff with zombies normally in sets. So she's 5 mana, 4/4, legendary human warlock this time. Another mythic. I think most of the mythics in the set are good.
I think so.
Usually there's just bulk mythics, but it doesn't seem so. So 5 mana, 4/4. Off the bat, she has Ward 2 and Pay 2 life. So removing her is a pain in the butt.
Yeah, for real.
Skeletons and zombies you control have +1/+1 and menace,
which is fantastic.
There's a lot of good zombie support. And then it's just whenever you commit a crime, you create 2 tapped 2/2 zombie rogue creature tokens, but it only triggers once each turn.
Oh, so you only get to make 2 3/3s.
2 3/3s with menace each turn, yeah. For 5 mana, committing a crime doesn't really have a mana cost associated with it because it's pretty easy. It's just target your opponents or their stuff or their graveyard.
Attacking is committing a crime, right?
No.
Oh.
You do have to target them with like an ability or a spell.
I see.
But there's a lot of pretty easy ways to do that for 1 mana or free. So you can't really associate a mana value with that, but you're committing a crime all the time in Magic without realizing it. You're targeting your opponent with abilities and spells and stuff.
Proliferate is committing a crime.
I'd have to check the wording on that. If it's just target,
because it's
proliferate might be choose, so that you can proliferate like hexproof stuff.
Oh,
I don't recall offhand.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's a 4/4 with Ward 2 and 2 life. All your zombies get +1/+1 in menace, and you can just make 2 zombies every turn.
2 3/3s with menace.
2 3/3s with menace. Tapped is like the one downside that makes it not extremely OP.
Yeah, but they're gonna have summoning sickness anyway.
They're gonna have summoning sickness, but you can't like make blockers at instant speed. But you're not blocking with her, and they're not removing her easily, so she's gonna stay alive.
Yeah, and in black, you're gonna have some sort of life manipulation, effectively, even like just because of the other cards.
In Commander, you cast her. Hopefully, you commit a crime on your turn. You commit a crime on their turn, their turn, their turn. Like you get 8 zombies on like.
They all untap and don't have summoning sickness.
Yeah, and then you got 8 3/3s with menace. Like it's the numbers looks really good.
8 3/3s with menace, and then you're gonna cast something that gives all of your zombies +1/+1 until or just as a static ability because it
or they all have unblockable and
whatever.
I don't know. Yeah, seems good.
Seems really good.
Even again, you can build a deck around it, but that's just like I don't know, minimum 5 mana. 10/10 stats like with Ward 2, it's good. It seems good.
Yeah.
In any deck.
I mean, even just as like a in a zombie deck, just as like a secondary enabler or secondary payoff type thing, like not even as the face commander, maybe just
because there's a lot of good zombies out there, a lot of good zombie themed decks. Next chase mythic that again surprised the heck out of me. This is a reprint, and he's like $20-something bucks. I was like, dude, guys, calm down. You're already going to have $20+ mythics in this set.
Yeah.
Terror of the Peaks.
I didn't see this one, did I?
Is with brand new art.
I didn't see this one.
Yeah, this guy's insane. He was a mythic back in M20, so like 5 years ago. He's first off basically has ward 3 life, pay 3 life before they came out with ward. Spells your opponent's cast that target him cost an additional 3 life to cast. So he's a 5 mana, 5/4 flying dragon.
5 mana, 5/4 flying. Okay.
Yep.
With ward
3 life, basically. And then it's whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, he deals damage equal to that creature's power to any target. So it's like better impact tremors. Of just, I had a creature enter, I deal 1 damage to an opponent. This guy will deal damage equal to that creature's power to any target anytime you get a creature enter.
Dude, that in conjunction with the red terror from the Tyranids deck.
Yes, yeah.
Or an all will be 1.
I had a really fun combo deck in Standard for not that long, because it was like right before he rotated out of Standard, and it was like right with Kaldheim or Strixhaven, I think. You could actually do an infinite combo in Standard, which was hilarious. It was only 3 cards too, in mono red. It was the
mono red, not known for its infinite combos.
Not known for infinite combos.
Except maybe with some goblins.
Yeah. Some copy effects, but that's normally red-blue. But it was just him. There was Burgi, where whenever you cast a spell, you get a red mana. And then there was a stupid elemental dude who cost 3 to play, but I had ways to reduce his cost. So it was maybe like a 4 or 5 card combo, but I could set it up well enough beforehand. He's just a good creature to have out anyway, this dragon. But then the stupid elemental just had like pay 1 mana to return him to your hand or something. So I could just like recast him for net 0 mana with Burgi out, and then just ping 2 damage to my opponent and kill him infinitely, because he was a 2/2. So it was pretty fun. Terror of the Peaks, solid card. I've never picked one up in paper because it's pretty expensive.
$20.
Yeah, but proxies. But good to see a nice chase reprint.
Yeah,
with some new art. Did you have any more OP cards?
Do I ever?
Yeah.
Right.
That was just mythics. Now we're getting into the OP rares and uncommons and commons.
So I mean, green is just having a heyday in this set.
I agree. Yeah.
I think green is going to be the happiest campers ever. I thought that there was a lot of white synergy that was good. You know, white decks are pretty good.
Okay, yeah.
One that I found where, first of all, there's High Noon.
Oh yeah, it's High Noon,
which is actually technically a red and a white card.
Oh, because it's got red on the ability.
Got red pip.
Yeah.
But it's each player can't cast more than 1 spell each turn.
Yeah.
Which, like, okay, kind of, you know, a little bit of a, not politicking, but a pillow fort type thing.
Yeah, a little stacksy. You're slowing your opponents down.
And then you can pay for 5, sacrifice High Noon, and it deals 5 damage to any target. It's like pretty good commander removal. Yeah.
Quick draw.
2 mana for that card, 1 and a white.
That fits in decks.
Can't cast more than 1 spell each turn. I think that's pretty okay.
Yeah. It's High Noon.
The other one is let's see. Is this the one I wanted? Oh, maybe this one isn't as good.
Do you have the Final Showdown?
Do I?
There's another white one.
I don't have that one.
Oh, okay.
Screenshotted.
The Final Showdown is similar with Spree, so it's got the weird bullet points, which...
Oh, I did see that one. Yeah,
okay.
I went through all of them, and I just screenshotting random ones.
This one's notorious, only because, at least in Standard, but first time even in Commander, we've seen a new card like this in a while. It's an instant speed sweeper, an instant speed board wipe.
Yeah.
Which are always very strong in a 4-player format.
Very, very strong.
It's 1 white mana, but then the bullet point for kicker, basically. Spree. Multi-kicker. You pay 5 extra mana, so 6 mana total, destroy all creatures at instant speed.
But if you pay like 2 more, you give all your creatures indestructible.
Yes. You can give 1 creature indestructible for an extra mana, and then 1 extra mana as well. All creatures lose all abilities until end of turn.
Right.
So you can do that one after you give your creature indestructible, but you remove their indestructibles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Final showdown. Pretty good.
I have Eartha Joe, Frontier Mentor.
Oh, yeah. I think so.
When she enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 red mercenary creature token with tap target creature you control gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Activate only as a sorcery.
Yeah, the new mercenary tokens, yeah.
Yep. The mercenary tokens are kind of cool.
Yeah, they seem nice.
And then whenever you activate an ability that targets a creature or player, copy that ability. You may choose new targets for the copy.
That's right. You did show me that one. It's like, wait, any ability that targets a creature you control?
Or a player you control.
Or a player?
Or a player, not that you control.
I'm like, that's...
Copy that ability. You may choose new targets for that copy.
I'm pretty sure I had to read that when you sent that picture to me first, because I didn't see that spoiler before you. I had to read it a couple times out loud. I was like, any ability?
Yeah.
I can just copy it?
An ability that targets a creature or player. Whenever you activate an ability that targets a creature or player, copy that ability.
Okay. It's not spells, but still.
Yeah, but in red, white?
Yeah. And it's funny because it seems so innocent because the first part of the card is like, oh, you make the mercenary token, and those tokens have an ability to pump your creature.
Yeah.
So you pump your own creature, you copy it, it's +2 power. Wow, so innocent.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only ability I could think of to copy.
Yeah. There's nothing else that I would ever copy on a creature that taps for anything.
Man, yeah. The fun interaction. I know we didn't list any specific like good interactions, but the hilarious interaction is your equip abilities. You can like pay to equip onto this creature, but then you copy the equip ability so you can equip it onto a different creature. Whoa.
That's funny, actually.
It's actually funny. Yeah. I don't think there would ever be a use case for that, but technically the copy of the equip goes on the stack.
Surely there is a use case for it.
I don't know.
I don't know. But I just thought that ability was just like stupid.
Yeah. Target creature you control gets whatever. All right, I'll just copy that.
Or what? There's like the ones where you can pay 1 mana and it does something.
Yeah.
Okay, I pay 1 mana, it does double that.
Mm-hmm.
Or I pay whatever the cost is that's so theoretically balanced.
What's the...
And now it becomes unbalanced.
You just had the enchantment that's like, oh, sacrifice, deal 5 damage to any target. All right, I'll deal 5 damage to 2 targets. Like...
Or 10 damage to 1
target. 10 damage to 1 target. Yeah, it doesn't say it has to be a different target.
It says you may choose new targets.
You may choose, yeah. It's like, oh, okay. Copy any ability in red, white. I like it.
Seems reasonable. Got I think this one, it's a sorcery, Scape Shift?
Scape Shift. That's a reprint,
right? Yeah. I feel like it's just going to be really, really good.
It's
maybe not. I think it's going to be really good in like CEDH or something like that.
It's one of the better white bounce spells.
Well, it's green.
Oh, it's green. I'm thinking of a different one then. I'm thinking of Plane Shift or Cloud Shift or something.
So Scape Shift, 4 mana, 2 and 2 green. Sacrifice any number of lands. Search your library for up to that many land cards. Put them onto the battlefield. Tap and shuffle.
For 3 mana, 2 and a green.
4 mana.
4 mana.
2 and a green. 2 and 2 green.
Instant.
Sorcery.
Okay.
So
it's balanced.
Yeah, but like, I'm just gonna sacrifice all of my basics to get all of the amazing lands out of my deck that are gonna come in tapped anyway. If I were to get them out normally,
yeah,
most of them do at least. But
it's only 4 mana to do that. Bare minimum, yeah, you can sacrifice the 4 lands you spent to cast it, and you get 4 better lands. Like, it's not ramp.
But it is.
But in any land-based deck, oh yeah,
well, they're gonna love imagine that. The like a landfall trigger on that.
Yeah,
because
I have 18. You know, my commander deck has 30 something lands. I have 15 lands out. Let me go get the other 15 lands out of my deck.
Oh, and by the way, my commander says that whenever a landfall happens, deal 2 damage to all targets.
Something
like
or maybe segue into the next OP green commander, Bristly Brill Spine Shower, the cactus guy.
Yep.
You got him. 2 mana, 2/2 plant druid. Another.
This is actually really broken on him.
Another chase mythic. Landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, put a 1/1 counter on target creature. Wow, that's really innocent.
Yeah,
that's all that the card says. I mean, why is that a mythic?
It would never say anything else, obviously.
A landfall, get a 1/1 counter. I like that.
Sure. That's okay. Except you can also pay 5 mana and double the number of 1/1 counters on each creature you control.
On each creature.
Oh, and by the way, this guy only costs 2 mana to get out.
I love 2 mana commanders, man.
2 mana. So for 7 mana, you can double the number of counters on every single creature you control.
Yeah, that's a snowball effect.
My friend, that is a nuclear blast effect.
Yeah. He's good. You make him his own commander, throw him in another deck. You won't be unhappy playing this guy, I don't think. No. It's a 2 mana investment.
Well, and think about it. Like what? So if you're playing a mono green deck, right? Which I'm a fan of.
As it so happens, you have one.
And I almost have 2 because I play my Tyranid deck like a mono green.
You thought about making another one,
Green is my favorite color in Magic. I don't know if anyone knew this.
It's green.
I'm sure my friends could never have told.
No idea.
But I like making big creatures and turning them sideways.
Simple.
But yeah, I like this guy. Like, okay, turn 1, you have a force. Great. Maybe you play Land of War Elves as well.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so you've got 2 mana on the board. Or you play Soul Ring or whatever.
Soul Ring, yeah.
Right? Okay, turn 2, you pay your 2 mana that you have, you cast your commander, you play your land for turn, put a counter on your commander.
Yep, 3/3. 2 mana, 3/3.
On turn 2.
That's good in any format.
Yeah. And then, you keep building up this, He's not going to do anything for a couple of turns.
No, but
because you have to get up to 5 mana. But getting up to 5 mana in green is like turn 3.
Yeah, it should be.
I mean,
otherwise you're not greening right.
I think on turn 4 I've had 10 mana at one point.
Yeah, and that's him as the commander. If he's not your commander, he's just in a green red blue deck. It's turn 10. You're like, my board's decently big. You draw him. You're like,
my board's about to get real big,
2 mana to cast, 5 mana activate his ability. Maybe it's late enough in the game. I'll activate his ability again. Like, you could argue in that situation he's win more, but like, again, you're not unhappy to draw him.
No.
So
no,
because even on an empty board, like if he was the commander, he starts growing the army.
Yeah. Board wipe without him, and you draw him. It's like, this is great. My board is about to get really big much quicker because you still have all the mana left.
Yeah.
So
Bristly Bill
Spine Sower.
Bristly Bill Spine Sower. He's a new cactus man, but he's missing a cowboy hat.
But he's not a cactus. He's a plant druid.
But they invented cactus people on. I don't know if they actually have names on Thunder Junction. Like, they got rid of Viashino, so maybe these are just cactus. They don't have a cool magic themed name.
Another one. So we got to keep going on this green train because the one that in conjunction with it literally go if you're doing a green deck, you play this card.
Okay.
It's Railway Brawler. Not a legendary.
I'm sure you probably sent this one to me, but
I'm sure. Or I showed it to you at least.
Yeah.
Railway Brawler, Rhino Warrior, 3 and 2 pips for a 5/5, so 5 for a 5/5.
Okay.
With Reach and Trample.
It's good.
It's got Plot 4.
Oh yeah.
So
you can pay 4 now.
4 for a 5/5 on your next turn.
Yeah.
That's not bad. Whenever 5/5 with Reach and Trample, pretty good. His ability is broken. He's not a legendary creature. He's a normal creature.
Just a normal.
So you can make copies of this guy.
Yeah.
Which is stupid because whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, put X 1/1 counters on it, where X is its power.
Oh yeah. You just get to double their power.
Okay. Let me paint you a picture. I love X creatures. They're one of my favorite things in Magic.
They're excellent, some might say.
That was great.
Thank you.
That was fantastic. Let's just say that I have, I don't know, any of the Hydras or a Tyrannid.
Any of them.
Anything, right? Any of the X creatures. Walking Ballista, even. Whatever. I have this guy out because it's turn 5 or 6 or whatever, or 10 or whatever. I plot him and I can just cast him whenever now.
Whenever you want.
And, actually, no, this is super broken. Because if you draw him, you plot him for 4, and then whenever you draw your X creature that you're going to cast, you just play him.
Plot him first. You're unplot. Yeah, play him from exile.
Cast him from exile first, and then it's free, so you don't have to tap any mana to do that because you've already paid that cost. And then you spend 10 mana. Oh, but you have a freaking... What's that Eldraine card that... Anyway, you have 10 mana, so you have this... Let's call it an 8/8 that comes out, right? And it gives you some effect, whatever.
Double the counters.
Oh, and then now it's just a 16/16.
Casually.
Okay.
It's good.
Oh, and then, by the way, the Bristly guy is your commander. So just pay 5 and double it again.
Double it again.
So now you have, in 2 turns, a 32/32. Or not 2 turns, but like...
Yeah.
Over the course of 2 turns, you've made an 8/8 into a 32/32.
No, the plot is pretty good. It makes... I mean, it's not the first time they've done this. Again, kind of similar to Foretell, but Foretell seemed to be...
Or even Suspend, kind of.
Or Suspend, kind of like, pay mana now, and then you can do this thing later. It is good. It's good design space, because then you can guarantee that you get some value out of your creature. Whereas if you just play that guy for 5 mana, he doesn't do anything right away. So you might just get removed before you can use him again. You got to untap your mana to cast something else.
And you want him to be on the board when you cast a big creature, so it's going to take a while. Like, even in green, if you're going to try and cast a 10/10, like, that takes a lot of mana. And so you're going to be turn 5, 6, 7, 8.
Any way you can, like, pay mana now for the investment later.
Exactly.
It's good design space in a card game. And again, it's not the first time they've done it. So I've come around to plot. It's pretty good.
I don't mind. I think it's good. Overall, I will say that this set is one of the best ones I've seen them release since I've started paying attention to them releasing sets.
Sure.
I think that every single card that I've seen, even the commons, I'm like, that's reasonable. Yeah. Like, that's not bad.
Not bad.
Like, even the chaff, the fodder is like, okay. There's nothing I'm like, wow, that's horrible.
Yeah, I kind of...
It's not that I've seen, but...
I mean, there's a couple of just like, oh yeah, these are just like draft commons.
Yeah,
whatever.
but like... That's their point.
Yeah. But there's enough like good stuff in the set too. You're like, oh, man, it's pretty wild. Other than our complaints at the beginning of like, okay, there's a lot of commanders in the set.
There's a ton. Well, I've got 4 that I'm actually thinking of making
of building. Yeah, do we just need we got to start a side channel, you and me just doing like themed commander showdowns or something, because it's like,
for sure,
I do my cowboy deck versus your plant deck or something. All, half the cards have got to be from the new set.
Yeah, that'd be kind of fun. Did you see the Great Train Heist?
I think I saw it. I don't remember what it did. I remember that the art wasn't fantastic.
The art's very mediocre.
Yeah, for a Great Train Heist.
Yeah, but it's a really good card.
Oh, okay.
It's one of the spree cards. They really like those. So
the bullet points.
1 plus 1 red. So it's
1 red.
It's red
plus.
So 1, and then you can pay 3 more. So 1 more red and 2. It's really good. Untap all creatures you control. If it's your combat phase, there's an additional combat after this phase.
Sorcery, right?
Instant.
Okay.
Instant speed, 4 mana.
4 mana to get a new combat. That is another instance of that being a cheaper effect than we're used to. Did 4 mana untap all creatures you control, get a new combat?
All creatures you control. If it is your combat phase, there is an additional combat phase after.
At instant speed?
At instant speed. For 4 mana.
No, that's at instant speed. That's like 7 mana to get an extra combat. At sorcery, it's 5
wait,
mana.
there's more because of spree.
There's bullet points. You got to finish reading the card.
The entire card, if you were to cast every single one of its ability, or use every single one of its abilities, is 7 mana.
Okay.
So there's the first one for 4.
Yeah, 1 plus 3, 4.
1 plus 3. There's the second one is +2. And it's creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain first strike until end of turn.
That's good. All right.
And that's just 2 colorless. Then there's another 1 red. Choose target opponent. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to that target player this turn, create a tapped treasure token.
Oh, okay. Whenever a creature you control. Oh, so okay. So all your creatures can make tap treasures for 2 combats.
Yep.
Okay. Nice. And you can just pump them and give them first strike as well if you want, but you don't have to.
+1/+0 and first strike.
First strike.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
So for 7 mana, I get +1/+0 and first strike, which is good.
Yeah.
I create treasure token for everything that
deals combat
damage to a player, which in red is not uncommon to do.
Nope. Lots of.
Oh, and then by the way, I also get a second combat.
Yeah.
So my thought is that my thought would be, okay, I'm going to hold this in my hand and just have mana up on the board. I'm not going to cast anything prior to my combat phase. I'm going to go to combat. I'm going to swing. Okay, cool.
All the goblins.
Or whatever. Who cares? Whatever it is.
Before damage.
Well, no. After damage.
Oh, okay.
Because, and my thought process is this. They're going to defend with whatever.
Yeah.
And then, oh, by the way, you've defended. Now your board is clear or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to also have a second combat after damage before moving to my second main.
Well, yes, it's good, but it's an instant speed, Steven.
No, true.
You could. All of those would benefit you
prior to damage, after blocks.
Yeah. After blocks.
Yeah.
Because you still get your second combat. You untap all your creatures. Then you sneak in the combat trick of the first strike and making the treasures of anybody who gets through.
Yeah.
And then you get your second combat. So it's after the defender has made all of their decisions. They can no longer affect anything.
Yeah.
And you're like, and now we have another combat.
By the way. So, yeah, really broken.
It's broken. I think I'm just going to put 4 negates in all of my commander decks from here on out because of all these cards we've seen. I'll just sneak them in. You guys will never know.
Dude, I really think that these red-green decks are just going to be stupid.
Yeah.
Speaking of red-green.
Red-green. Still commander because I got some solid pauper contenders.
I have 3 other cards.
Okay.
Or do I have 4 other cards?
Is one of them the Scorpion Dragon?
No.
No, all right. I'll save that for later. That's just the fun creature type
Actually, I have way more cards than I thought.
I also have actually a lot. But
do you have Rakdos the Muscle?
Yeah, I do have Rakdos.
Okay, I'll let you do him.
I think that's probably literally every mythic in the set, maybe, that we've talked about. They're all good.
Kellen the Kid?
Oh, he was okay. I did take a picture of him as well, but not my style, not my flavor. Rakdos the Muscle.
Really? It seems like your flavor all the way.
I don't like the colors.
Oh, green, white,
blue. Yeah. Rakdos the Muscle is 5 mana, 6/5 flying trample demon mercenary.
Okay, so 5 mana, 6/5 with flample. Pretty good.
Rakdos is, from Ravnica. He is a giant demon guy. There's been a lot of complaints that he's just like a normal size demon guy on this plane, which is kind of weird when he's supposed to be like skyscraper size. But
anyway. He is skyscraper size in this art.
No. Like Rakdos is like giant.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like Godzilla size.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But so whenever you sacrifice another creature, you get to exile cards equal to its mana value from the top of target player's library. Can be yours, can be an opponent's. Until your next end step, you may play those cards, and mana of any type can be spent to cast those spells. Then he's got a sacrifice ability to activate the first one. To sacrifice another creature, give him indestructible till end of turn, tap him, but only once each turn. It's good. Rakdos.
Not that there's any other sack outlets in black-red.
In black-red.
I can't think of any single one. Oh,
you get to either cast your own stuff from exile or steal stuff from your opponent's libraries. I like the versatility on that. And also, he's got built-in protection because
you can also just mill your opponents.
Yeah, that's also true. Equal to the mana value. Yeah. That's pretty good.
Get a guy with persist out there and
combos. Rakdos the Muscle is pretty good.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I feel like I have to read Kellen the Kid.
Kellen the Kid, sure, yeah.
Even though you don't like him, he's what is red?
He's Bant.
Bant.
Green, white, blue.
Yep. 3 for a 3/3. Flying lifelink.
Mm-hmm.
Human fairy rogue.
He's Oko's son for all of the lore nerds out there. That's why he's a half fairy. Oko's a full fairy.
Then whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, you may cast a permanent spell with equal or lesser mana value from your hand without paying its mana cost.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't, you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield.
Yeah.
That second part is like, I don't care. The first section is like...
It almost doesn't need the second part.
No.
But they threw it on there as anyway, just to make it a little more OP. Make it a mythic. Upgrade it from a mythic to rare. Because if you take out the middle part, it's whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, you put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. Or you can just cast a permanent from your hand with less mana value, equal or lesser mana value. So generally casting from exile, or casting from your library as well.
Or casting from plotted cards.
Or from plotted cards, that's why he's in this set. If there's any casting going on from the graveyard, which not in these colors too common, but...
No. Does white have a little bit? White has a little bit of green.
Yeah.
A tad bit.
Kellen the Kid. Green, white, blue. Cast not from your hand tribal. It's a new term. I just came up with it.
I think it works.
But yeah, bare minimum, you just get to put lands out because he's got that green blue in there, so they gotta put lands in there. They gotta ramp somehow.
Yeah.
Kellen the Kid. It's not bad, not bad.
And then I've got I sent you these 3.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm gonna make one of them a deck.
Cool.
So one of them is Roxanne Starfall Servant.
Oh yeah, the cat
or Savant rather. The cat druid.
Starfall Savant.
Yep, she's in Gruul, which is so she's 3, a red and a black, or red.
Red and green.
I know colors.
Yeah, you're good.
So 5 for a 4/3, which is meh. And then whenever she enters the battlefield or attacks, create a tapped colorless artifact token named Meteorite. When Meteorite enters the battlefield, it deals 2 damage to any target, and add 1 mana of any color.
Yep.
It's a better treasure token.
Yeah, because it doesn't disappear.
And it deals
2 damage.
On each EB.
Yeah. When she enters the battlefield or attacks.
Yep. And then, this is...
the kicker.
Except not kicker. Whenever you tap an artifact token for mana, add 1 mana of any type that artifact token produced.
Yep. She doubles your mana abilities from artifact tokens.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that's good. Again, another instance of... I don't think that's cheaper than we've seen that ability, but that's on par from what we've seen with that ability. But then she also does other stuff. There was a... Kaldheim, I think, had the first, like, a 5-mana dragon that doubles your mana just from treasures. She's also 5 mana. She also makes meteorites and then doubles your mana from meteorites and treasures and anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought she was pretty cool.
Red-green seems to have a cool, like, treasure synergy because it's like red-green has already been ramp.
Yeah.
And then you get to ping 2 damage and stuff. Yeah. you get some extra combats, so you can get extra meteorites every turn. Red-green does that pretty well.
Yeah. And then one of the other ones was Yuma Proud Protector.
I don't remember this one.
He's kind of interesting.
It's a lot of legendaries.
Legendary creature, human ranger, red, green, white, and 5 colorless.
Oh, he's from the pre-con. Yeah.
I think he's the face commander.
He's the face commander.
I think these 2 are face commanders.
Yes. They haven't spoiled all of those cards yet, probably this week.
Oh.
They just spoiled the face commanders, yeah.
So he's 8 for a 6/6, but
wait.
This spell costs 1 less to cast for each land in your graveyard.
Yeah.
So, okay. Then whenever he enters a battlefield or attacks, you may sacrifice a land. If you do, draw a card.
Mm-hmm.
And then whenever a desert card is put into your graveyard from anywhere, create a 4/2 green plant warrior creature token with reach.
Yeah, desert tribal.
I kind of wanted to do something really stupid and just and I wouldn't do this IRL, but if I could find out how to do it on like MTG Arena, is literally just have him and all desert lands.
All deserts.
Like, that's it. That is it.
Yeah, that could be in Brawl. Magic Arena has Brawl, which is like a 1v1 commander format. It's like 25 life, but it's a 60 card deck. I would.
Because like I would just figure out how to like draw a stupid amount of cards, and then
you'd have to put other cards in your deck then. But
obviously I didn't mean, but I mean like no creature cards except for like just have a stupid amount of desert lands.
Yeah, because anytime you discard a desert, you're getting a 4/2. That's good enough
with reach.
Yeah,
so it's like I don't know.
There's easy enough ways to just fill your graveyard in green as well. So,
and he's red and white as well. So that means
for the aggro, yeah, seems neat. And deserts are getting more synergy, more support. So,
and then this is the one that I actually really liked. It's a Olivia Opulent Outlaw. This is Outlaw Tribal, basically.
Outlaw Tribal, and she's always been Vampire Tribal because she's head of one of the prominent vampire houses on Innistrad.
Well, she's a vampire assassin, so
yeah. Olivia Voldaren, and then there was the Markovs. I think they married. They were like the two vampire houses. I'm pretty sure. My Innistrad Magic the Gathering lore.
She's 4 mana, 1 a red, a white, and a black.
Mardu.
I know colors, I promise. She's a 3/3 flying lifelink. So pretty good. Then, when one or more outlaws you control deal combat damage to a player, create a treasure token.
Yep.
Assassins, mercenaries, pirates, rogues, and warlocks are outlaws.
Pirates. I forgot about pirates. Yeah.
And then you can pay 3, sacrifice 2 treasure, and put 2 1/1 counters on each creature you control.
She gives you something to do with your treasure other than just mana.
Yeah. So
you can get minimum 3 treasures a turn if you deal combat damage to 3 players or attack 3 players. What was it?
Combat damage.
Combat damage. So.
But a lot of rogues are unblockable.
Yes, very true.
A lot of rogues are unblockable. Some assassins are unblockable.
Yeah. Or death touch or whatever, so they don't want to be blocked.
Yeah.
They're trying.
I feel like this is a really like go wide board with this this strategy.
Yeah, I'd be intrigued to see the rest of that deck, especially the desert guy. Like, he kind of builds himself. It's like, yeah, you want deserts and fill your graveyard and make plant dudes.
Yeah,
I'm intrigued to see what they do with the rest of the deck. Since I can't quite tell. I mean, obviously it's Outlaw Tribal, but
yeah,
I'd be intrigued to see what direction they take with that. If it's more just like, I get a bunch of treasures.
I'm interested to see the Yuma one though, on like how they do it. Like, because it can either be like really cool, like do really well, and like it's gonna have a lot of lands in it.
Yeah.
Or it's gonna be like
might just
really
kind of
mediocre,
flounder and not really do much.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think I'll do one more legendary, and then maybe we can bounce in a couple other cards.
Sure.
This is the Viashino that they changed his creature type. So now, Laughing Jasper Flint. I don't think that's his first name, but somehow he got the title Laughing. He's just a lizard rogue now, sadly. But he's got like 2 sick like dual blades in his hands. Like, I don't like the art.
Oh yeah, that is dope. Rakdos.
Yeah, Rakdos. 1 a black and a red for a 4/3 lizard rogue. Creatures you control but don't own are mercenaries, in addition to their other types. So you steal other creatures and turn them into outlaws.
That's kind of cool.
I like the stealing creatures idea, and we've mentioned a couple times they're always doing it slightly different or in different colors. Like I know they did a Grixis one once a couple sets ago, like Ixalan. But so you turn them into mercenaries, and then at the beginning of your upkeep, you exile the top X cards of target opponent's library, where X is the number of outlaws you control. And then until end of turn, you can cast spells and use mana of any color to cast their spells.
Yeah.
So you have to use other support to steal their creatures, but then you get to steal their cards from the top of the library. It's cool. I'm like I said, I'm always intrigued to see more of the stealing creatures archetype, and I like this art. It looks cool.
Yeah,
Viashino, but not.
But not.
We gotta just we can briefly talk about some cute art. Tons of awesome animals in the set. I think they're just getting us ready for the next standard set is all animals.
Yeah, but I think
that's going to be cuteness overload.
Yeah, some of these ones are like really good. Though. Like I actually really like the Roadrunner card.
Oh yeah,
they did a Wile E. Coyote.
They did a clear Wile E. Coyote reference.
Yeah, they did, and the card is the Roadrunner card has protection from coyotes.
Yes.
It's like, okay, there's one other coyote card in the entire library of Magic.
It's a brand new creature type, and you have protection from it. Congratulations.
And then I think there's some interaction with the coyote card where it like does something to. I don't know. There was something.
It was like low power enough that I just kind of
it was funny though.
In and out of my head, but they do have badgers are not new, but they got some cool badgers. Again, we can flash the art up on screen. I'll send them to you. The stubborn burrow fiend. This cute little badger,
very cute
badger beast mount. Weird creature types, but
yeah, we didn't really talk about mount.
This guy, I didn't even see his name in English, but he's a giant possum. Opossum nomad, if I had to guess, or opossum traveler.
Is that French?
I think it's French.
Yeah,
but it's a giant possum wearing cactus armor.
That's hilarious. That's really fantastic.
Cool. That guy was cool. They had the Scorpion Dragon, I can mention.
I did not see that one. Is that a new creature type, Scorpion?
No. But Scorpion Dragon as a combination, definitely,
yes.
Because that would be terrifying. He doesn't seem too fantastic, but he seems okay.
Trample, flying, 4 for a 7/7?
He gets -1 for each card in your hand?
Yeah. Then you can plot for 3.
You can plot for 3.
And he's flying and trample.
Mm-hmm. So if you ever have a full hand, he's dead. But no, it's
but like
other than that, he's just a flample. In standard, I think that's better for sure. Commander, it's just a creature.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, what was his name? Stingerback Terror, Scorpion Dragon, scary. Oh yes, the Varmint, Voracious Varmint, new creature type. It's just a giant friggin' squirrel thing.
That's a great ability, though.
Yeah.
3 mana, sack it to destroy target enchantment or artifact?
Well, yeah, so he costs 2 mana, and then as 1 mana to sacrifice him to destroy target artifact or enchantment, which, again, is the cheapest we've ever seen this effect. Normally, it's 3 mana to cast that creature, and then 1 mana to do it again on a common or uncommon. This guy's 3 mana total, and then just the power creep. I had one, yes, the squirrel, prairie dog.
What?
Yes. Everybody, in Magic the Gathering, we're famed. It's fantasy, and there's all these mythical creatures, and then there's the prairie dog.
I mean,
he doesn't have any special name, or it's literally just a real life earth animal in Magic the Gathering, and he's just eating a cactus.
Oh, he's a squirrel creature type, though.
Squirrel creature type, which, funnily enough, prairie dogs are related to squirrels.
Yeah, they're all rodents.
So that creature type fits. Not a dog, though. Prairie dog, and he's just like standing there.
His abilities are really crap.
Yeah, they're not good.
It's fantastic though.
But the art's cute.
Yeah.
So,
what was the freaking one I was just going to ask you about? Suck.
I think he joins the only other white squirrel is this weird thing from Ikoria that had like mutant monsters. It's a flying squirrel.
A nightmare squirrel.
Nightmare squirrel. Mm-hmm. Every other squirrel is green, or green and black.
Yikes.
There was the giant lizard thing.
On the rock, yeah.
Gila Courser is a giant lizard mount, not a Viashino. Don't mount your Viashinos.
Unless you're married to them.
Yes, Viashinos are lizard people. This is a lizard mount, non-sentient. It looks cool though. And then the Snorses.
What?
Yeah, the Snorses.
The Snorses?
Snake horses.
Oh, that's hilarious.
They're snake horses.
Oh. We also forgot to talk about the Holy Cow.
The Holy Cow. I'll show him off too. Yeah. Caustic Bronco is a snake horse mount. The effect's fine or whatever, but it's a Snorse.
That's hilarious. You know what was a flavor fail? Is that they didn't have just a horse creature that had mount, and that when it was mounted, it gained horsemanship.
Just horsemanship, yeah.
Like that's all it had to gain. Like it was literally like mount 1. Or saddle 1 or whatever it was called, right? Saddle 1 and
when it attacks while saddled was their phrasing. Like it gains horsemanship till end of turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't do that. Not in standard, I guess. They didn't want to. Maybe in the commander decks. We'll see this week.
Yeah,
if they have saddle in the commander decks, we don't know.
If they didn't do it for the Riders of Rohib,
the
Lord of the Rings set, they're not going to do it for this set. I think horsemanship is dead.
Maybe.
TED dead.
TED. A couple other fun ones will flash on screen. The Holy Cow, as you mentioned. More power creep on common effects. 3 mana, 2/2 with Ox Angel, creature type, obviously. And white. 3 mana, 2/2, flash, flying. Enter the battlefield, gain 2 life, and scry 1.
It's like really good. It's a common?
It's a common.
I feel like this is going to go in every Pauper deck ever.
Speaking of Pauper, I'm going to build an Armored Armadillo deck. The Armadillo. Because it's a 1 mana 0/4 common Armadillo. It's just a normal Earth Armadillo. It's not like giant, like the Prairie Dog. It's just normal. It's just
an Armadillo.
He's got Ward 1. Which is cool. And then you can pay 4 mana, 3 and a white, to give him +X+0 until end of turn, where X is his toughness.
Huh.
So, armored Armadillo for your Pauper decks coming soon. And I think that was all the fun, cute art I had. Oh, no, wait. One more. The Loan Shark. Which...
That's hilarious.
They could have got a couple different ways with this pun. But since it's Outlaws, the Loan Shark is literally like a shark criminal.
That's hilarious.
Like
Shark Rogue.
Shark Rogue. He's like taking money in the art from another guy.
That's
like,
hilarious.
The Loan Shark. Also, the Cowboy set and Outlaws, they could have had just like the Loan Shark stands alone, like with the tumbleweeds rolling. Right, he's the Loan Shark.
That's better. I think that's better.
I think this could have fit in like the crime, like the new Capenna set. I thought this would have been a good opportunity to do the Alone Shark in the Western set. But
I don't think that's a flavor fail or anything.
No, it's
I agree that they could have done it previously as well, but this is still
gotta do it for the memes.
Yeah, this is still good.
Still pretty good. And then those are the best ones. The best funny, cool new arts. New creature types, varmint. That's Outlaws in Commander Junction,
and coyotes and roadrunners and
white squirrels.
Anyway,
yeah. Thanks for tuning in. Next week we'll probably talk about some of the Commander only cards,
and then hopefully something else.
Hopefully, yeah,
to not bore you with
2 weeks in a row of all Magic the Gathering. But
I mean, was it last week we had some decent ones as well, or no? That was 2 weeks ago.
No, I think it was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Anyway,
thanks for tuning in.
There it is. Bum bum.
Cut.
And our mics stayed alive.
Hopefully they heard it.
Just so that you can hear us talk and do the ASMR. I am doing the ASMR.
Cut this out. Steven's gay.
Yes.